Listen, my father was very abusive. One of my earliest memories was him knocking my mother out. And he would come home around 11 after his night at the bar. And man, they would fight. And my mother was screaming, and he, haul off, and don't make me do this, don't make me, and then pow! And then I would never forget walking out and seeing her on the ground knocked out. And he's like, look what you made me do. And I remember on the news, because the news was not a little different, but at nightly news, it was only the big stuff that got on. It wasn't like 24-hour news. So they was like, man kills entire family. I was like, my father could do that. He could do that.
Yeah. Did you think could or would?
It was a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Some days it would be like, would he? But he definitely was could he.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was no question he could. So I was like, all right, I gotta protect my mother, and I gotta protect myself. It kind of came to a head when I actually did beat up my father, but I was a grown man.
Yeah.
Visit some friends, and I get a call from my aunt, the same aunt that would take us to Cedar Point and the whole thing with my uncle.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God. She said, your dad just hit your mom. And I said, what? And I said, I'm a grown man, but I'm a grown ass man now. And this is the thing, when I went home for Christmas, we call this a Christmas from hell. So I said, dude, I told him never to mess up. I said, dude, just don't trip, because my kids hadn't been around it. And dude, my kids were shook. Like they never seen that.
Yeah.
So I told him to get everybody out of the house. And it was just me and him. And I beat his ass for hours. And I felt nothing. Once I went to therapy, after my wife and I broke up and the whole thing, and I went to therapy for the first time, I had to find one thing that I was thankful for him for. And so I called him up and I said, man, I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful that you had me. Because if you didn't have me, I wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
That's a fact. And he said, he cried. He apologized. He was like, I'm sorry for what I did to you and your mom and the whole thing. Now, at the time, it was a wonderful moment when I realized how I could really be free was really forgiveness.